Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, Sampler every series of videos I've been doing for a little while now. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that, time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. After the day I had, I definitely needed a good meal. So hopefully this is good. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there and try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. And folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, folks? What happens to be my Power Man 5000 shirt. This is specifically the 20th anniversary shirt of their album Tonight the Stars Revolt, kind of their penultimate album. If you're unfamiliar, by the way, Power Man 5000, they're a band that's been around since, like, if not the early 90s, certainly the mid 90s. They've changed up styles a number of times. Kind of one of their biggest claims to fame is that the lead singer, Spider, is the half-brother of Rob Zombie. But that shouldn't diminish their own accomplishments. Like, they certainly had, like, especially kind of like the late 90s, early 2000s, they really had a run, especially with the album Tonight Stars Revolt. Like, that was definitely a big thing for them. You know, I think pretty much all the singles they put out ended up being hits. Kind of a mix between sort of like industrial elements, some nu metal elements and stuff. I never really considered them nu metal at the time. More on the edge of sort of industrial, but I really enjoyed their stuff, and I've been fortunate I've been able to see them perform live on a number of instances. It's actually where I got this shirt. And I like them so much that I've gone over there and actually gotten videos of said performances. Those videos are on this channel as well, just in case maybe you want to check them out. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Well, like I said, I had a day. Without going into all the specifics of it, it was a ridiculous day. There was no reason for it to occur. And I ended up being, I'm like mildly sunburned. I got freaking fiberglass in my arms. And like, I am a unhappy Brandon Wenzel right now. So when I got off of work, I went over there and I was like, you know what? I want to grab something to eat. And it popped in my head. It was like, hey, there's this place around here that I've been meaning to hit up for a while. And I keep missing it. Let's see where it is. And sure enough, I was like right next to it. And I was like, let's do it. So, what is it? Where's it from? What are we doing here, folks? Well, it happens to be Boom. But here's the real Boom, folks. It's coming. You better believe it. Because it's Boom! What are these? These are Barbacoa Tacos from a local spot in Addison, Illinois called Taqueria Mexico 2000. Let me make sure I got that right. Yes, Taqueria Mexico 2000. It's this cool little hole-in-the-wall spot that's like in the middle of like an industrial complex area. And I've been meaning to hit this place for years, but like just hadn't happened. Finally, I popped in there today. I decided to get myself some Barbacoa Tacos because that's kind of always my standard whenever I'm trying out like new Mexican food place. So, first of all, let's get a thing. Can we get a thing for the thing and make it look sexy? It looks like this. Ha 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 ha. And let's try out some Barbacoa Tacos. And they're just, cilantro and onions. I gotta say, I'm just tagging this in there. All of the girls who were working there, like behind the counter, were gorgeous. Like just beautiful. And I was like, ladies, thank you so much for putting up with men and our fugly asses. Let's give it a go. Okay. That's some good barbacoa. Ooh. That's some very tasty barbacoa. It's very, very tender. I reviewed some barbacoa from a place not too long ago. I forget what the name of it was, but like their specialty was barbacoa. And so I went over there and I was like, okay, cool, I got that. And it was like beyond tender. It was ridiculous. This isn't quite as tender as that, but is still like basically melt in your mouth tender. Like the barbacoa is fantastic in this. And The nice thing is it is super tender, but it's also still got a meatiness to it. It's like, because if it's too tender, it can almost be like ethereal, like you're not like really properly eating it. But that's not the case here. Like, it's definitely there and very, very tasty. The, what is it? The tortillas are very nice. I think they're got a nice flavor to them, and they're nice and tender as well. These are good barbacoa tacos. If I had a criticism for them, and this is just a personal thing on my end, and it kind of depends. Some places I've had it do it one way, some places do it differently. I do personally. I like it when barbacoa has a little zing to it. Just a little extra something. These, they don't have that zing, but again, like I've been to, I don't know what like the, like the proper, like official way to do it is, but I've had it prepared both ways. I like it both ways, but I do prefer it when, again, it's just got a little zing to it. But these, they're very tasty. Like I said, I like the meatiness they've got. I love the level of tenderness. The cilantro and the onions are really nice as well. Like, I'm not a big onion guy, but for what they're doing with these, like, they're nice, like, because, again, it's not being a big onion guy, they can be kind of intrusive, and a lot of times I'll actually ask for them to not be on there. But usually if I'm trying out a new place, I just want to see how they do it. But these are nice, they're fresh, they're not overpowering. These are very good tacos. I'm going to say, too, flat out, I think next to Taco Pros, that was the name of the place. Next to Taco Pros, these are probably the most tender barbacoa I've had. Like, it is, like I said, I still appreciate that it's got a little meatiness, but like, you could almost drink these through a straw with how tender they are. And they're very, very tasty. I'm going to do a quick little thing here, because they gave me some salsa as well. Can I do a quick little thing with the red salsa? Ooh, salsa's good. It's got that zing to it, and that's why. Ooh, that's got some zing to it. That's got some proper zing to it. Let's just do one, just one. I know you folks are with me on this, so let's tag it in. But that's some good salsa. Like, you can taste the freshness of it, and then it's got a proper bite to it, which, oh my god, I like that. So, shouldn't have to apply a lot to get the desired result. Let's go ahead. Yeah. Even just that little bit with that red salsa goes a long, long way. It gives it that heat to it, really allows it to stand out without going over there and taking over everything. Again, if you're going to apply, don't apply liberally. Be a little bit more conservative on it, because it does go a long way. It definitely gives it a nice zip. But salsa is really good. I think it pairs really well with the barbacoa. These are some very good tacos. But two questions have to be asked, folks. Would I get them again? Would I recommend them? I mean, for me personally, I have to go with yes and yes. I am extremely fortunate in that the area that I live, I am surrounded by an absolute plethora of really fantastic Mexican food spots. Like, I could basically throw a stone in any direction and hit a really good one. But of course, they all do things a little bit differently. They all have their own specialties and stuff. That's why I like to go with barbacoa first, because it's something that basically all of them offer. And it's one of those things where, like, it's hard to get. It's such a simple dish. There's nowhere to hide with it, If you mess it up, it's going to come through. You can't hide anywhere, And I think for me, this is a perfect example of like just some, like there's no reason to hide. This is just a simple dish done really well, excuse me. Just put together properly, super duper tasty, fresh ingredients, prepared absolutely perfectly. These are definitely, excuse me, these are definitely, for the places in my immediate area, these are definitely some of the best barbacoa tacos I've had. I don't know if they'd be the best of the best. Like, I would have to really compare and contrast, but like, off the top of my head, I don't have any other place that I've tried that like is going to stand out to any significant degree. You know, these would definitely, if they're not number one, they would be number two, because I love everything that they're doing, and I think they just perfectly represent what I love about the barbacoa tacos. Even if, again, typically I do prefer the ones that got a little bit more of a zing to it, but again, you tag in that with the salsa, and if I'm recommending them, I'm absolutely recommending this place. Like I said, you know, because of where I live, because I have so many great options, that's why it's taken me so long to get to this place. And, you know, if somebody were to, you know, were to come and, you know, be in, you know, the general area that I'm around, and they were to ask, where should I, like, I have so many great places. That's the thing. But I have to say, it's like, you know, having never been to this spot before, it's very much on my radar now. And it is a place where it's like, if you want some really good barbacoa tacos, I would definitely go over there. I'd say, yeah, definitely try this place out. And again, you could definitely get really good barbacoa tacos at other places and stuff. And again, different places, different specialties and stuff. But at least so far, with this being my first outing with Taqueria Mexico 2000, they've really impressed me. I think these are perfect. These are exactly what I like. So, but anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there and have yourselves a truly 2000-tastic rest of your life. I was around for the year 2000. It was the whole thing. People thought the world was going to end, and it was like, whole thing. And then nothing, it just kind of just went. Because that's what it always is. Whenever you get people like, the world is, it never is. But final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you're going to go over there. Maybe you've got like a great Mexican or like a local Mexican spot to you. Let me know about it. Hit me up in the comments, what kind of place is it? What are the, items that you particularly like? Because, I mean, especially, living in the United States, we have so many great places, to just, well, and to be fair, it depends on where you're at in the United States. But, I know for me, where I'm at, I have so many great places to go and so many different types of food to go through. When it comes to, like, Mexican food, it's become, like, so just, like, it's always around, and I have so many great options that sometimes I don't always think about it the way that I should, where it's like, because, like, it's one thing if I'm, like, going for, like, there's a pierogi spot, it's like, that's the only pierogi spot I have. But I have so many great Mexican spots, it's like, again, sometimes I don't always think about it, but then when I finally do get it in my head, it's like, oh, yeah, that's right. Like, these places are so awesome. Just because there's so many and they're so good, it doesn't diminish, one being better than the other or anything like that. Like, they all just bring something, to the table. So, but anyway.